there's this big deal about 16. I'm 16, so I mean, it's a question. So they feel okay because I'm now a teenager. Mommy, don't talk to me anyhow. That is, come on, stop it. Calm down, slow the pace. Okay? So you have to the fact that you're a teenager doesn't mean that you won't give heed to your parents' advice or your parents' instructions. And this was one painful mistake I made. Like, I can remember my mommy always giving me instructions, bro. I was not like becoming a rebellious teenager. I don't want to hear her instructions. I feel like because I'm now big, I'm SS2 or I'm SS3, so why should you talk to me? I just think that it never paid off. Hi guys, I'm Success. Welcome to my YouTube channel and your Heart Talk series. In this channel, we discuss about faith, experiences, and life as a teenager. You know, peer pressure, hidden exhibitions, and the stopping issues teenagers go through. So we put it through, ignite the fire in you to become the God-oriented teenager. You don't want to miss this. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified of other videos I'll upload. Love you. Okay, today guys, I'm going to be talking to you on the mistakes I made while I was a teenager. You can tag them painful mistakes, right? Yeah, they were painful mistakes. Yes, painful mistakes. Okay, I don't usually do this. Yeah, but I was led to do this by my spirit, my inner man. I was led to come up here and talk to you guys on this part of my life. Yeah, part of my life. Okay, there are these assumptions that people make. They stay from afar and make this assumption or make a conclusion about somebody, mostly on the social media space. Like, they look at you and think like, oh, you had a perfect past. Let me use that word, a perfect past. Like, I mean, your past was so perfect, there were no flaws, there were no mistakes. And at the end of the day, you might find out that your assumptions are wrong, because when you come closer and you observe that person closely, or you try to relate to that person, you will now find out that, oh, my assumptions were wrong, and that's just it, right? So people look at me and think like, oh, I had everything all perfect from my teenage age up to now, and I'm telling you guys, that's a lie. It's never true. It's a lie. So in fact, nobody, let me use the word, nobody had it all perfect from the onset. So there were mistakes that people make. Yeah, there were mistakes people made, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the painful mistakes I made. Okay, quickly, before I go into the painful mistakes, let me tell you this brief story about myself. Now, the thing was that, or the truth was, I matured so early. Yes, right from my 10-year-old, right from 10-year-old, I matured so early, and that is, I started my puberty stage at the age of 10. I know what that happens for ladies. You begin to grow the breast, the buttocks, and what have you. So I matured so early, right? That made me look so big that people could hardly tell my age. That if I don't tell you I'm 10, you won't know I'm 10. You think I'm 14. That's just the truth. Like, I was so big, guys. I was in JSS 1, right? My birthday is April 19th, so I got into JSS 1. That was September, which is normal resumption month. Yeah, that's normal resumption month. So I was so big. I was 10 at that time, and I was so big because it just occurred like immediately and instantly. It happens, yeah, it happens. So you won't blame me because it's nature. I can't cheat nature, right? So that was how it was for me. So people would think I was, 14-year-old, and yeah, if I don't tell you I was 10, you know I was 10-year-old because I looked so big. Right? People who knew me then could, testify to what I'm saying now. That was how it was for me. But the point is that I allowed my stature to see. Yeah, that was one of them. That now brings me to the one mistake I made. I allowed my stature to see to me. How? I still mingle with friends who were way higher than me. Don't quote me wrong. It's good to mingle with people who are higher than you in age and so on. But ensure that as a teenager, if you're mingling with people who are higher than you in age, ensure that they are of the positive side, like people who will add positive values to your life. But mine was different because I said earlier I was 10-year-old and I looked as though I was 14, and you could not even tell my age, right? So the kind of friends I made then were friends that were higher than me. They were female folks, like they were higher than me in age. They were in SS1. I think 14 age should be in SS1 if I'm not wrong. So they were in SS1, then they were in the XS class, yeah, they were in the XS class. So I was so big and I started mingling with them. And where did I get these friends from? From church. That will tell you that the people who would even bring you down and derail you from God's purpose for your life and even be from church. So these girls were from church, and they looked big as I was, so you could hardly tell that I was 10. And they didn't even know my age because they never bothered to ask. They thought I was 14 as they were. They never even bothered to ask my class. I think it was later on they knew about my class, my age, because of course the truth definitely would speak for itself. Yeah, so I started mingling with them, and these girls, I'm sorry to say, they were of the negative side, that's negative impact to my life. So these ones were already exposed because already they were 14 and they were in XX1. They were kind of exposed, they came from different kind of homes that you can't even tell, exposed to boyfriends and what have you. And I was not even exposed to that. I came from a Christian home background. Of course, that shouldn't be like how would I put it? Like a sense, okay, you came from Christian home, you can't misbehave. You get my point, right? So they were way higher than me. They were already exposed to boyfriends and so on. Now you can imagine myself as 10, was bigger, mingling with these ones. You know what would happen, right? So my stature deceived me. So I'm putting this up to you right here. If you're big, you're 14, you're 15, you're 16, you look so big that no one could even tell your age. Do not allow your stature deceive you. Yes, don't allow your stature deceive you. You use your stature to do big things in the God way. Think big, just as Ben Carson. I'm putting this book to you. You can go read Think Big. Ben Carson wrote the book. He was a young guy when he started accomplishing great things. So you can also read his book and watch out the great things that he did. So I was so big that, let's say, I was still full of myself. I was just my stature, I looked big and so on. It didn't enter into my skull, my brain and so on. And then the real deal. It was so painful. I don't want to give details, but my God, it was only God that brought me out of that shell, because I was almost going the opposite direction. Those who knew me there will tell that I'm saying the truth, right? Because guys, I was so big, and following these girls, they were almost leading me the wrong way. In fact, it was so almost getting the boyfriend. It was like wrong partnership. Let me put it that way, wrong partnership. So do not allow your stature deceive you. That you have a big stature doesn't give you the license to have a boyfriend. Yes, that you have a big stature, it doesn't give you the license to have a girlfriend. Oh, I'm now big, I have a big boost, okay, I can have a boy. No, it doesn't give you that license. Come on. You can do other things with your big stature. Do great exploits with your big stature. That you have a big stature doesn't mean that you must keep a boyfriend, that you must start. You don't have to do that, right? Yeah, so that's number one. Number two was that I did not serve God. Service to God was a no for me during my teenage age. And it's something that when I sit back now and I begin to reflect, I was like, oh, I should have done this when I was a teenager. Service to God was, I don't know, but there is this sense of pride or something that comes upon teenagers. Okay, like they don't want to serve God, or they don't even want their peers to know that they are Christians. Of course, people say they are Christians, but Christian by names, real Christians, or even that denominations, they don't want to say out something because you're shy. Let me use the word shy, or you're shy, you're ashamed. You should not be. There is no big deal about that. So service to God was a no for me. I never served God. I just wanted to be a bench warmer, sit down, fold my hands and do. Guys, there is no meaning in it. So if you're a teenager, use this opportunity right now to serve God. Your service to God. There's so many units in church that you can work. You can work in the choir unit, you can work in the ushering team. If you're hoping to be an engineer in the future, you can work in the sound system unit. You don't have to leave this for the older ones. These are things that you must do. Praise God. Yeah, so these are things that you can do. There is no big deal. It's just you serving God, and there are rewards to it. There is this man, I listened to him during the last Impact 2022 program I attended, December period, organized by Deeper Life Bible Church. His name is Victor Chukwu. So as he spoke, I was blessed by his ministration. I was inspired. By the time I went back to check about him, I felt that he was dedicated to the service of God in his young age. And today the guy is based in the US with his family. He's married already with two beautiful girls. But this is what God does for you. There are tremendous benefits in serving God, but many do not know. They feel like serving God will make them feel awkward or something. Let me use that word, right? Come on, take away that assumption. You're wrong. It's a misconception. It's a misconception. So in your teenage age, serve God now that you are young. This is the best time you can serve God. There's so many units in church. You can do belong to the choristry unit, the ushering unit, the sound system unit. If you want to study, or if maybe you want to learn a skill like event decoration and management, you can work in the decoration unit in the church. You don't have to leave it for your mommies and your daddies to decorate that in the church. You can just, it's so beautiful, and then you'll be so glad doing that. Praise God. So that was the mistake I made, that I was like, oh, if I can turn back the hand of the clock, in fact, I'm going to do this, right? So I'm putting it up to you. Don't allow this phase just go by without serving God in your teenage age. Praise God. The third mistake I made was I lived my life based on my peers' impression about me. Like, I was just so careful about what they think about me. You don't understand? Like, I was just so careful about, oh, what does this person think about me? What do they think about me? Like, oh, you want to put on this skirt, or you want to dress this way. You know this skirt is right, okay, it covers you, but you're just so careful about, if I put on this skirt or I put on this top, maybe they're gonna laugh at me, they will mock at me or something like that, which you don't have to. Come off it. You have to stop that. If you keep on living your life based on people's impression about you, I tell you, you are not going to live your best. Take it or leave it. If you keep on living your life based on what people think about you, the impression they have about you, then you're not going to live your best. So that was what I was doing. I was just so careful about what they think about me. And today, if you ask me where they are now, those people that were so, like, sitting on this, they are nowhere. Like, I can't even find them. So why are we doing that? Why are you so careful about what they think about you? If I tie my scarf this way, if I carry my Bible this way, they will laugh at me. Let them go ahead and do it. It came to a point. I came to it because I didn't want to trace my step, and that was my 18th, 19th year old. So I was telling that, okay, I'm gonna be unique, I'm gonna be different. They want to laugh, they want to scorn, let them scorn. So I was that to different, right? Like, I remember I was walking down my home street, and some group of guys that would sit down in a particular corner, and each time you see me pass, they begin to laugh at me. Like, guys, they laugh at me and they mock at me. It was so different. My shoes, like, you're passing by and people are just shouting and calling you like, oh, Mother Mary, all those kind of names it's happening, right? But I don't know what happened. I know because I had words in again. I was already born again. Yeah, I was born again. I had words. So I cared less about what I thought about me. I was just so focused on what God was thinking about me at that point. And I'm telling you this: if you keep on living your life based on what people are thinking about you, what they think about you, you will never live your life to the best. I'm telling you, you will never live your life to the best. So I dropped those thoughts, I put them aside, I started living my life based on what God think about me. It comes to a point that this guy stopped. Like, I will pass by and they will not shout and scorn and mock as they usually do. They stopped. Like, they stopped on their own. Actually, I can't even find them anymore. So be different, be unique. Do not live your life based on the impression about what people think about you. The fourth one is disobedient to parents, not listening to parents' instructions. I think this is common among teenagers. You feel like, oh, I'm 16. There was this movie I watched about it was young teenagers that acted in movies. They're like, oh, I'm 16. What's up about 16? You're 16 and so? I mean, you're 16 and so? I don't know. There's this big deal about 16. I'm 16, so? I mean, it's a question. So they feel okay because I'm now a teenager. Maybe you don't talk to me anyhow. That is, come on, stop it. Calm down, slow the pace. Okay? So you have to the fact that you're a teenager doesn't mean that you won't give heed to your parents' advice or your parents' instructions. And this was one painful mistake I made. Like, I can remember my mom always giving me instructions, but I was not like becoming a rebellious teenager. I don't want to hear her instructions. I feel like I'm now big, I'm in XX2 or I'm in XX3, so why should you talk to me? Why just give me it never paid off. It's never paid off. So one beautiful thing that will happen to you in this period is listening to your parents' advice. Like, guys, it's very, very important. It can never be overemphasized. It's just so necessary that at this point in your life, you listen to your parents' advice. I don't want to start giving you details of the repercussions of not happening to my mother's advice. Like, then she will call me and want to caution me and tell me, don't do this. Like, then now I know that she meant good for me, right? But that time I was, but now, like, I'm now beginning to see the reason why she was saying so. So I'm putting this up to you that you're a teenager doesn't mean that you have to be rebellious or close your ears to your parents' advice and okay, you don't want to listen to your parents. Come on, stop it, because you yourself will become a parent one day. And how would it be when you're talking to your child, your son, or your daughter, and they snub you or they walk out of you arrogantly? Come on, can you see? That will not be nice, right? So listen to your parents' advice. Very, very important, guys. Like, it's so important. Hacking to their advice, hacking to their instructions. Praise God. The fifth and the last one, because of time, is visiting friends without your parents' permission. Yes. Remember the story of Ammon and Tamar? If you read 2 Samuel chapter 13, you get the story in the full gist. You get the full gist, yeah. So do not visit your parents' houses without their consent and without their permission. But one thing I always do again was from my school, I sneak out, visit my friends' houses and so on. And it was so bad, like I saw the repercussion. Yes, I saw the repercussion. So visiting friends' houses without your parents' consent and when it's without your parents' permission is wrong. And with what we are facing right now, with the insurgency in the country, the attack, the violent attack, and so on, it's not even advisable. Aside that, without if you want to visit your parents, your friend's house, ensure that you are being given an order, that is, you are given a go ahead by your parent. Don't just go visit like that. There are cases of rape. Yes, that people visit friends' houses and they get raped, they get drugged. Like guys, it's simple and it's still happening. Okay, so don't feel too big for yourself. Don't feel like, oh, I'm not a big girl, I'm not a big boy, I can do whatever I want to do. Come on, before you go visit that friend, ensure your parents are aware. Ensure they are aware. So these are the painful mistakes that I made. In my next video, I'll be giving you the good things I did. Yeah, the good things I achieved, or things I did which were what's well in my teenage age, because they are negative sides and they are the positive sides. So these are just few of the painful mistakes I made in my teenage age, and I'm sure that you were blessed by this video. Yeah, I'm sure you're blessed by this video. If you're an adult and you're watching, feel free to air your view on the comment section. Tell us the painful mistakes that you made in your teenage age so that we all can gain and learn from your experience. Thanks for watching, and do also subscribe to this video. Yeah, if you have not, just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It does not bite. Yeah, it does not bite. Yeah, and after doing that, click on notification bell so you get notified when I upload other videos. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. See you next on the Hard Talk series. Bye.